car enthusiasts and owners to a completely new genre, the younger generation that's coming through, so we can get them interested into kit cars, because you'd be surprised how many people go, what's that? Not seen that before.
Yeah.
So we're it's a two-pronged attack. It's something for us, but it's also benefiting the kit car industry, because again, there aren't that many events available where the kit car industry or the manufacturers can go to and display their wares and try and get more people to buy their product. So this is how it works, and this is the fantastic thing about SANTAPOD, because they're on board with us, and they know it's a win-win, because they've already got 7,000 people coming through the gate on a Sunday. If they can get the same amount of people coming in on the Saturday and the Friday, they're generating more profit for themselves.
Well, it's more than that, though, too, isn't it? I mean, because when you go to a drag strip or any event, really, if it's a regular scheduled event, it's just like, okay, I'm going to that regular scheduled event, but look, this is different. We've got something new and unique, and it just piques interest, and that's really what it's about. It's the entertainment value of it.
Well, this is the best thing. This is because I was really shocked that they went for this, and they're so supportive of us. But basically, what they've agreed to do is that for every ticket sold, they will give us back £3. Nice. So we broke even. We've only done it once, Jim, because we did it for the first year, and then COVID happened. Okay, so we've only done it once. So I'm still green as they are at doing events.
I bet you'll build on it, though. I mean,
yeah.
And here I am projecting into the future. And by the way, Trevor, I have just hit the record button because I thought we were just going to have a private conversation. And part of this I am recording because it's good. And I will touch base with you to kind of just touch on where we started from, about what we're about. But that's for a later point. But I just wanted to talk about, I know from what you've told me about KITFEST, you can expect this thing to grow. Because it's informal, it's impromptu, and it's also not a big open event where, they have car shows, and I'm sure there's lots of car shows you go to, and they're kind of the same thing every year. But to go and take your own car and you can actually participate, that's huge.
Yeah, it is. And we've got A-Plan Insurance. They sponsor all the trophies and everything else. We do slowest, quickest, first one to blow up, first one to lose oil on the track. So we spice it up with things like that.
It's just you summarized my whole kit car career.
Yeah. And the other thing is that the retail side of it, they've got their own people coming along to display. So if you wanted a pitch for 7 spots, you would pay, say, if you wanted a gazebo, which is 3 by 3 meters, okay, you would pay SANTAPOD £115 for that pitch over the weekend. SANTAPOD allowed us to have our own retail spot as well. So if I could entice anybody to come along, i.e. manufacturers, and I charge £115 for that pitch, they allowed us to keep that money.
That's good.
So that money then also went to, oh, by the way, this is all in aid of Clare House.
Yeah.
So we spent on the first event, I think it was £1,400 on flags, gazebos, leaflets, things like that to promote it. And the money we got back was £1,400.
Wow. That's
so
great.
We raised £1,400 from it. So we broke even the very first year, which for me was phenomenal because I didn't expect that. I thought we'd lose a bit of money, and projecting it for a 5-year plan that by the 5th year we'd earn quite a bit of money for Clare House. And it's all done on a voluntary basis.
Wow.
I just have a few people that help me, and so that's where KITFEST came in. It was just something in my head, and I knew I couldn't afford to do it as a business. And it was a win-win. Something for Clare House, something for us, something for new people to come and see. And it works. It works really well.
And excuse me for jumping in, but it seems to me that there's an element to your group, and although I don't know of you and of your group sort of anonymously through the internet, it seems like there's a tangible realness to the group. The people are not elitists. They're just common people.
I couldn't have put that better myself.
Yeah.
I feel somebody said to me about 18 months ago, and they said to me, "Do you realize what you've done?" What do you mean? Have you realized what you've created? I went, no. What do you mean? And what they said is what you've just said, that we've created a situation where it's more family orientated, and that people actually want to be part of the group for whatever reason. And it's led to a really lovely atmosphere. Lots of piss taking, which is what we like. There's nothing more than kit cars. Anything that derives or is a slight derivative of something else that comes in politics, anything like that, I kick out immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, not the people, but
no,
everybody knows and respects that it's kit cars only, nothing more.
And that's the attitude I've got with Seven Spot too. And I mean, if somebody brings up a political interest or something that's not a derivative of what we're about, I just explain it to them. You know, please don't involve us with your politics. That's not what we're about. You know, and if you find that offensive, then you know, there's lots of other places for you to express yourself.
Yeah. And funny enough, we get quite a lot of applicants to come to the group, and not everybody gets in. I look back in the last 3 months, and we've taken on 28 members in the last 3 months.
Good for you.
But 52 have applied. So only 28 got in.
Yeah.
Purely because they won't have a kit car. They're looking for a kit car, and I very politely say, well, unfortunately, you need to have a kit car to be part of the group.
Sure.
However, I'm more than happy to try and find one for you, because that's the other thing I do. I do a lot of putting people in contact with kit cars, because obviously I know, like yourself, a lot of people with kit cars, and they come to me and say, Trev, do you know anybody who wants I'm thinking of selling. And again, I don't do anything other than just put two people together and say, there you go, lads, get on with it, and hope that they stay within the group.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of facets to the group, and I haven't stopped to think about it until somebody actually said that to me, and then I got scared. It frightened me, because you know, it's just not. It's something I was doing because I wanted to. Yeah. For no other reason.
No, and I'm with you, because you know, with me with the 7 Spot thing, it was just something that I felt compelled to do, and it was because I always felt there was, you know, we were talking about elitism and so on, and amongst the 7 group, it's ridiculous. You know, it's a movement. It's not a mark. It's a movement. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. So I understand what you're talking about, but I'm going to get back to a couple of things really. I've just hit the record button as I just mentioned, and I want to get back to how you started. You said that you've been you're in your 7th year, and you're in your 3rd year of donations. Could you just I'm going to record a little bit of this, and could you mind just touching base on those particular points, and then also we just about a little bit about I guess the fact that you do the donations and what that's about, because it's a separate thing from the other groups. There's so many other groups, and they're just like a kit car group, or they're a mark driven group, and everybody goes out for a blat and a good time, but they don't have a raison d'etre. You know, a mission statement that's important. Would you mind just touching base on those 2 points? Because I'm recording it.
No, that's fine. As I said, I set the group up 6 years ago. We're now in our 7th year, and the first time I set it up, it was just purely to get other kit car enthusiasts together. So, and the idea of the members map as well.
Yes, darling, I'm just recording an event with Trevor Harmer. That's my wife. She just ran.
I'm just going to have some cow juice. Hope you don't mind. So yeah, it was purely to get other kit car enthusiasts together. Yeah. And as I said, you'd be driving down the road and you'd see a kit car going the opposite way, and it always played on my mind. I wonder where he lives. You know, it'd be great to go for a run with him rather than just on my own.
Yeah.
And within the first year, it grew from 20 members to 200 members. Mm-hmm. And then when I realized that these members were coming on board, I thought, well, could we do something else? We enjoy these cars so much ourselves. It puts a smile on my face, and I've been driving mine for 26 years. And even when I come in today, I've still got a massive grin on my face when I've driven the car.
Yeah.
And you get the same effect when you drive 3 or 4 cars down the road and the public point and smile, and you think, wow, this is really powerful stuff. And then I thought, well, maybe we could do something with this and give something back to the community. And that's where the idea of the second page, which is what we call the inner sanctum or hardcore.
Yeah.
And which is where we decided, or I decided, that maybe if we did a donation, a minimum donation, if people were prepared to do that, then we can put that to good use. And that's where the hardcore, or the second page, came into fruition. And that was sort of like, we're now in our 4th year of that. So we've done 2 years and donated money to Clare House Hospice.
Yes.
And we're just about to donate last year's amount that we raised to Clare House Hospice as well. Which will probably be announced. I haven't announced it yet, so that's going to be announced in the next
couple of weeks. That's all right. And don't share it with us. I'm just more keen to find out what it's about, because, as I said, there's so many groups, including the one I belong to. You know, we're Mark driven, and it's wonderful, and I enjoy it. But having a purpose is something that's very binding as a group. And I salute you, because I was blown away. I mean, watching your participation and others from the Northwest Kit Car Owners Group on 7 Spot, I recognized that there's more to this group. You got not just the Blatts, and you also do a trip to the Le Mans as well, as I understand. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. But just going beyond that, it's a social purpose.
It is, and it's as you say, it's very binding. You know, but it also attracts. Whether this is the right thing to say or not, but it attracts humble people.
Yeah, I call them real people. Sense. I call them real people.
Yeah,
you know,
they're not bothered about what sort of make of car they've got or how much they've spent on it, or what they want to do is enjoy it. And if they can give something back at the same time, then great. It's a double win. So that's the beauty of it, I think.
Yeah. And I'm going to move on quick, because I'm going to be using a bunch of this to make a little snippets, perhaps, and to put them into a little recording. And you look so wonderful with your hair done. You look great. But I just want to touch base on SANTAPOD. And how KITFEST came together. I mean, you talked about Stoneleigh and how the participation in the UK has dwindled in the age of the internet, so that everybody's anonymous, and who needs to go to that anyway? But SANTAPOD, really? Tell us about quickly. Just tell us about what you're doing there and how that evolved.
Again. 15 years ago, there was probably 12 shows all around the country. And over those 15 years, it's now dwindled down to 1 show, which is Stoneleigh, purely because of the commercial aspect of it and due to the internet, as you touched on there. And again, because I wanted to get people together again, I wanted to try and have another show somewhere. And anybody I approached just didn't want to put the financial burden on themselves to do so. So then I thought, well, how can we do this? Because I can't afford to do it. I can't afford to stump up £5,000 or £10,000 for a weekend and then possibly lose it. So how can we do this? And because we were already a charity event, club or group or whatever you want to call it, I used that as a purpose so we could raise more money for them, but also gives it a completely different angle that it's a non-for-profit event, and it could be good for somebody else to take us on and make something from it themselves. And without naming names, I approached at least 5, 7 different people that usually do these sorts of events, motor events, etc., and nobody was even interested in talking to me. And then I approached SANTAPOD. We sat down and we put the plan to them, and they welcomed us in with open arms and thought that what a fantastic idea.
What an absolutely perfect place. I mean, you can have a stadium, you can have a large venue made available to you, but there's nothing like going to the track to do this.
Jim, just the vibration of the
it's
engines
real.
going through your chest.
It is visceral.
As they're going down the track, it's just unbelievable. The smells, the noise. And you know what the best thing is? We can have a go ourselves. We can actually go down the track. You pay £25. You turn up and you sign on the dotted line, and you can go down that track as many times as you want in that day.
And you celebrate with there's victory trophies for different categories. Tell us quickly about those.
We've it's something we've done. It's A-Plan Insurance. They help to support us as well. And we have certain trophies. That we have a trophy for the quickest down the track, the slowest down the track, the first one to blow up, the first one to drop oil. Just silly little things like this. It's great camaraderie. It's great fun, and it's a brilliant weekend. Unfortunately, we've only had one so far.
I know,
due to
feel it. I can feel it right here. It's going to grow. It has to grow because it's real. Real things exist and they do grow. I know that. Things that are self-involved or look at me, they don't grow. They're events that come and they blow away with the wind. They just lost to time.
True. I think every event has its time, and things do drift away because things get boring unless things change. It's the same one again. Do I really want to go to a static event? And whereas this is not static at all. No. It's the sounds, the smells. There's loads to do. There's a fairground. There's lots of food,
and everybody participates. You get right in there. It's great.
It's a brilliant atmosphere, and I want it to be a festival atmosphere as well, not like your normal car shows. Where we're all camped in a field. It's not cordoned off for that particular make. It's you drive in, you pitch up. Wherever you pitch up, that's your pitch. Now, inevitably, people are going to be drawn to the flag of their own club, group, or whatever. But similarly, eventually, they're going to intermingle. So you're not going to know where one club finishes and one club starts. And that's what we want to get. We want to get that festival feel. Everybody's there for the same reason, not to show their wares off. Oh, look at our monarch. Look at our marquee. And things like that. I just want it to be a festival feel. Lots of balloons, lots of flags, fireworks going off, and all that sort of stuff.
That's totally awesome, Trevor. We chatted. We just did this off the cuff. I mean. You sent me a text and I said, let's go. And so we're going. But gosh, we've been chatting for 20 minutes. And before that, we were chatting off recording for at least another 25. So I'm going to say, why don't we put a bow on this and say, this was great, and I'm going to record this, and I'm going to edit what may be editable. I'm going to send you a copy, and then we'll just take it from there and see what we can use. What do you think?
Great. It would have been nice if I'd have seen a hairdresser first.
No. Yeah, and I have got nothing to hide, my friend. I got the bald spot happening here, and I got the big tail going here. I just call it pandemic hair. That's what I call it.
Yeah. It's surprising that I didn't realize I had such hair for quite some time.
This was I knew it was going to be a quickie, but oftentimes those are the best.
Yes. Yeah.
And we'll just leave that alone. We'll both talk about just leave that alone.
Yeah.
Trevor, I'm going to say thanks. This is awesome.
No, you're welcome. And if we can, I know we've recorded this and it's sort of like been a bit ad hoc. But if you want to do something again and a little bit more succinct,
this is going to be tied together with a whole bunch more stuff. But I'm going to, I with your permission, I would like to take elements of this and put it up on 7-Spot, because I want to build on this. And this is kind of what I did with another story that we did recently on 7-Spot. You take the parts you can use and you put it up, and then you weave it into a nice little story. And I think there's more to the story that we need to tell too. I mean, I would love to see elements from your different YouTube videos about kind of the events that you hold. I want to find out, take a look at, maybe I'll even have a chat with some of your members. I happen to know a few of them, and we can add that personal aspect to it. And I would love to get a live event of some sort, just like it doesn't have to be anything, just 5 minutes with somebody at a particular time when you're doing a group to get together before a blat or after a blat, and just kind of walk around a few cars. That would be, all this stuff is great.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that, Jim.
Yeah, because you mentioned it earlier. I mean, it's the difference between having a static event and treating life as a festival. We're only going to go around once. Let's turn it into a festival.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
very true. Life's too short.
Yeah. Trevor, this is awesome. I'm going to sign out.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
All right. Cheers.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.